Right now, in an extraordinary twist to the existing proceedings on this show, I am about to take you all the way to New York because our political editor, Christopher Hope, he's been up the Empire State Building. He's had a look at the Statue of Liberty. He's done all sorts, OK? He's not been to Hooters, though. That was off limits for him. But what he has done is just asked former President Donald Trump a question, and we're going to bring that to you now. Here it is.
Keir Starmer, the UK Premier.
Yes, he's coming tonight.
What do you think of him? Some of his colleagues in government are quite critical of you.
Well, I'm going to see him in about an hour, so I have to be nice, right? Yeah. But I actually think he's very nice. I think he ran a great race. He did very well. It's very early, but he's popular, and I'll be seeing him, and I'll send you regards. Who are you with?
I'm with GB News in the UK.
Okay, good.
Would you rather Nigel Farage would have had a bigger role?
Well, I think Nigel is great. I mean, I've known him for a long time. He had a great election, too. He picked up a lot of seats, more seats than he was allowed to have, actually. They acknowledge that he won, but for some reason you have a very strange system over there. You might win him, but you don't get him. Nigel is a fantastic person.
Mr. President.
All right, so there we go. Let's start with the Nigel stuff first. So Trump acknowledging that reform's 4 million votes didn't necessarily equate to as many seats as it possibly could have done. Him essentially going into bat for PR, I think.
Which is kind of ironic because I remember when the Hillary people in 2016 complained because I think Hillary won the popular vote, but Donald Trump won it on the Electoral College. And he made the point that obviously you campaign based on the system that you have, so the popular vote doesn't really... So he's kind of slightly ironic that he's reverse ferreted on that.
I did quite like the idea there that he just went straight off the bat and just went, well, I'm seeing Keir Starmer in an hour, so I have to be nice. Oh, what a guy. What a guy.
Well, that's probably based on the fact that some of Keir Starmer's MPs haven't been particularly nice about him.
Yeah.
So
and your friend the mayor.
So he's actually giving the more grown-up response. If you had to judge our system against his system, he's giving the more grown-up response.
That actually, to be honest with you, there is a point there, because David Lammy has called him basically everything awful.
Sadiq Khan had quite a few digs as well.
And allowed a blimp of Trump in a nappy to fly over London, for free blimps, free speech. But, you've got Trump there who's actually been quite considerate. That's the thing, isn't it? When you actually compare what Trump said there to what David Lammy said, Trump is the grown-up, isn't it?
I'm just going to go online and cancel my support for the PR campaign. As if Donald Trump's in favour, I've got to be against. I thought it was one of his more coherent replies.
Yeah.
And actually, he did actually make a point about PR. It'll be interesting to see what happens about this. Maybe Nigel will use that clip to further the cause.
Well, the thing is that Trump is so very unpopular amongst the majority of the British public, conservative, right-leaning and left-leaning, in the main, that actually, as you allude to, having him on your side is not necessarily what you want for a popular campaign.
Yeah. Just going to get you on this idea that he has just been more diplomatic than David Lammy, though.
I think David Lammy's been very diplomatic since he has been in office.
Oh, I see.
He on his LBC programme, whatever, he may have said things over the years, but,
Yeah.
OK, breaking tonight. Keir Starmer will meet with Donald Trump for the first time since he became Prime Minister. Now, Starmer is currently in New York for the United Nations General Assembly. For more details on all of this, we can go live now to our political editor who is in New York, where the Prime Minister has been as well. And I believe Christopher Hope is there. Now, Christopher, that looks like, is it Trump Tower? What's going on? What's going on with you?
Hi, Patrick. Well, behind me are the famous gold elevator doors, which you've seen a lot, haven't you, with Donald Trump. And yes, I'm in here in Trump Tower, having just asked a question on behalf of you and all our colleagues and viewers and listeners to GB News about Sir Keir Starmer. Now, what's happening very shortly is Sir Keir Starmer will meet with Donald Trump. I said, what do you make of Keir Starmer? Some of his colleagues are quite critical of you, Mr. Trump. And he said this to me, well, I'm going to see him in about an hour. So I have to be nice, he said. I think he's very nice. He ran a great race. He did very well. It's very early, but he's very popular. I then said to the former President Donald Trump, would you rather that Nigel Farage had a bigger role, maybe in UK-US relations? He said Nigel is great. He's known him for a long time. He had a great election too, he said. Picked up a lot of seats, more seats than he's allowed to have got. Actually, they acknowledged that he won, but for some reason you have a strange system over there, about our system, he said. You might win them, but you don't get them. Nigel's a fantastic person. So there we have it, Donald Trump giving full praise to Nigel Farage, of course, the presenter on GB News, and also saying he's looking forward, in a very quite a nice way, to meeting with Sir Keir Starmer shortly.
Exactly. So, Christopher, do we think that Keir Starmer at some point is going to be walking, presumably behind you, getting into those gold lifts, going up to Trump's pad, or are they meeting at the UN? How's it working? I don't really know what's going on.
Well, we're not getting the detail of where they're meeting, I think, for security reasons, but we know they're meeting at some point later tonight before Sir Keir Starmer flies home. I'll be on his plane with him. I may have gone to the airport by the time he arrives or wherever they meet, but certainly it's quite a big moment here for Sir Keir Starmer. He's trying to get Trump to back the idea of this victory plan to try and help Ukraine end this war with Russia and win that war. Tomorrow morning at 9:45 here, we heard from Donald Trump, he's meeting with President Zelensky. So there's a bit of an effort here, I think, by Western leaders to pressure Donald Trump to come round to that position, because what everyone's worrying about, I think, is if Trump wins on November the 5th, he might then push for Ukraine towards a peace deal they don't want. So it's very complicated. Some big politics happening tonight in New York City, Patrick.
Yeah, massive stuff. Christopher, thank you very, very much. I must say, last night we had you on a boat there with the Statue of Liberty just around the corner, that wonderful New York skyline. Tonight you're in Trump Tower with the gold elevators. I shudder to think what would have happened if we'd left you there for another evening. Christopher Hope, thank you very much, our political editor. Good stuff. There we go. Talking of views. OK, and welcome back by my press pack now. We've not got a huge amount of time. So, Madeline, what do you make of that? So he's going to have to... He's going to meet Keir Starmer now, and that's going to presumably be quite tense, I imagine.
Oh, I suppose so. I mean, it's the politics of opposition are very different to actually being in charge and having to deal with brinkmanship and diplomacy is a difficult thing. And I also can't think of two people that perhaps have less in common in any other way socially than Keir Starmer and Donald Trump.
Well, having said that, I don't know. They both enjoy a large penthouse.
I knew you were going to say it. I was poised.
No. I think the most...
I think what he's paid for is that's probably mortgaged the Trump Tower.
The most important thing is this Ukraine conversation, because if you're Donald Trump, you want to lower your defence bill, and if you're the Europeans, you want to defeat Russia fairly quickly. And I think there's a negotiation there. And who would you back to win a negotiation between Trump and Starmer?
Yeah, Trump, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that, as he actually hasn't negotiated. It's all a myth. I mean, look, I think what's quite interesting is that they are doing the choreography of this meeting. By the sound of it, what Chopper was saying there, that they're going to have shoved everybody off to the airport, because you have to go on these press trips. You're shoved into the bus. They're all off at the airport. There'll be one photograph, so that all the awkwardness. Remember the Theresa May and the hand on the thing. I think they're going to be avoiding all of that as possible. I reckon all we're going to see of this is a couple of stills of them sat with the flags behind them. Yeah,
true. Because Keir Starmer's not going to want to seem static.
He's not going to want to be any pictures of him getting in those lifts.
No, that's true.
Elevators.
Elevators. OK, all right, well, watch this space, because we here at GB News will bring you the very latest. And our wonderful political editor, Christopher Hope, is right on the scene. But it's time to reveal today's Greatest Britain and Union Jackass. So, Maddie, who's your Greatest Britain, please?
I've actually gone for one Lord Ali, who we've spent quite a while talking about tonight.
Choice.
But the reason being that he's just brought so much joy and laughter into our lives over the last couple of weeks. It's been extraordinary. A never-ending dribble of cronyism and corruption stories, courtesy of Lord Ali. And frankly, we could all use a friend like Lord Ali in our lives, to bankroll every aspect of our existence and take our wife shopping and pay for Bridget Phillipson's birthday party.
I'm really worried about your obsession with Bridget.
I mean, Lord Wahid Ali is conceivably this government sugar daddy. Which is a remarkable thing.
Exactly.
He's a committed Labour supporter. I thought it was going to be you were going to nominate him as Greatest Britain for what he did for the Madonna sisters.
I'm being told to shove things along.
My Greatest Britain is Dame Joan Collins for her wonderful appearance on GB News and her real look at common sense Britain and just saying, let's go back to one of the great things about this country, our sense of humour.
And we're going to hear from her now.
And do you think this wokery thing has got a bit too much of this wokery?
Good God, yes.
Yeah.
You know I do.
I do.
I think it's gone out of control.
Yeah.
Really. You can't say anything. People get offended.
Yeah.
We've lost our British sense of humour.
Okay, so Matthew, who is your greatest Briton?
Well, I tried to change mine at the last minute, so let's hope that the graphic matches this. Mine is Michael Dawson, who was very sadly murdered last year because he told us he's a senior citizen. And he told a cyclist to get off the road, to get off the pavement and cycle in the road. And today, at last, his family got justice as the guy who punched him has been given a 5-year sentence.
Okay. So, okay, all right.
He's in Bury, in Greater Manchester.
So today's greatest Briton is the name escapes me. Sorry, Michael. There we go. All right. Well done for the greatest Briton. Right now, Union Jackass, please.
My Union Jackass is I've just come back from Liverpool today, where I was at the Labour Party conference, and I've decided to go for an MP, a junior minister called Andrew Gwynn, who's, I think, one of Wes Streeting's minions in the health department, and he says that he thinks that pub opening hours should be shortened for public health reasons.
Boo. Boo. I don't even drink anymore, and I think, boo.
Yeah.
Apparently Labour have denied this policy, but denied it.
Yeah, well, this is what Andrew Gwynn said. He said, quote, direct quote, shorter hours is something that we're considering.
But why
so even if Labour denies it, he said it.
I first met Andrew Gwynn
next to a pub and then want to shut it down.
I first met Andrew Gwynn when I was 17 at a Labour Party Young Socialist training event where quite a lot of alcohol was taken.
Oh, interesting. There we go. We've got less than a minute.
There we go.
My Union Jackass is Keir Starmer for claiming credit for 10 billion investment that was secured under the Conservative government. Nobody appreciates somebody claiming credit for somebody else's work.
Okay.
Mine's very quick. Naomi Campbell for being stripped of being a charity trustee after the charity she was involved with was found to be, let's put it mildly, not very well run.
Okay, interesting. Ooh. Well, I will not be going for the notoriously litigious Naomi Campbell, but I will instead...
You're leaving that one to me. I'm going to be sued.
It's all you. Matthew Lars. I'm going to go for Gwyn Pubman, because I've done Keir Starmer a few times.
Boo.
Boo. Yeah.